So our crack staff from RCO Industries have sent me a few articles to share with you, the general populace of the internet. And while we love to joke around and such, sometimes we have to deal with the tragic stuff in our own unique ways, and yet they send me these articles to deal with them. I don't know why, but it's just there. Okay, our first article they all come from AOL.com. So this first one happens to be in my neck of the woods. Girl 10 dies after losing consciousness on Magic Mountain roller coaster. Had this up since last night. A 10-year-old girl who was airlifted from Magic Mountain in Valencia after losing consciousness on a roller coaster Friday has died, an official confirmed Monday morning. The girl, identified as Jasmine Martinez from Somis by the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office, was riding on Revolution and was unconscious but breathing when she returned to the ride station on Friday. I'll tell my 2 cents afterwards. Pardon me. The paramedics were called to the scene about 4 p.m. and took the girl by helicopter to a local hospital. A spokesperson for the Los Angeles County Fire Department said, on the day of the incident, state investigators determined the cause was not related to the operation of the ride, and it was reopened according to a statement from Magic Mountain. Martinez died at the hospital on Saturday, and an autopsy was pending and went of the coroner's office at Monday. We are deeply saddened to learn the death of Jasmine Martinez. Our thoughts and prayers are with her family. In compliance with state guidelines, the ride was temporarily closed again Monday, pending a review. The theme park stated, our thoughts and prayers are with Jasmine's family and friends during this difficult time. The statement from Magic Mountain read. More than 50 million people have safely ridden Revolution since it was opened in 1976, according to the theme park. KTLA's Jennifer Tang contributed to this report. Correction, a previous version of this article showed the incorrect photo of the Revolution coaster. The story has been updated to reflect the correct image. Yeah, now truth be told, every time I went to Magic Mountain, this was one of the 2 rides I actually went on. Revolution is, I often went on 2 rides whenever I went to Magic Mountain. And that was Revolution and Colossus. Colossus is pretty tame. Revolution is pretty exciting. And the one thing I've learned is that if you have somebody very trustworthy, make sure you empty your pockets. Especially when you go on the loop-de-loops. Everything that you had in your pockets will fall. So therefore, just take them out of your pocket. Or maybe put them in a bag or something. And then when you get off the ride, then, put it back in your pockets. Now, in all the years that I've went to Magic Mountain, and I went to Magic Mountain exclusively, and I mean exclusively because I always went with a group. And the various times I went to Magic Mountain, they were often by the school or otherwise with my then Big Brothers group. So therefore, that's rough. I mean, I don't hardly go on roller coasters, but when I do, they're usually the ones that are just, I know for a fact that it's safe to me. And it won't cause me to, get sick or anything like that. But that's a rarity that a girl that young can die after losing consciousness on a roller coaster. That I don't know what to say to that. That's pretty. Uh, that's pretty. That's a hard pill to swallow. But I bet most people now will be aware. If you somehow have a thing against roller coasters or you can't handle roller coasters, then don't get on. You have nothing to prove when you're on a roller coaster. You know, at first to me it was something to prove, but now it's like, I have nothing to prove. It's like the last kind of ride that a friend of mine, or rather acquaintance of mine, wanted me to go on was Riddler's Revenge. I looked at Riddler's Revenge and I said, "Oh hell no!" So you're gonna miss out. I'm not missing out on anything, bruh. I am not missing out on my life, okay? Thank you. I like my life just where it is. I like my heart right where it is. It's not being cowardly. It's just me being very careful with my life. Because, hey, I already put my life through enough stress and danger as is. So why should I put my life on the line haphazardly like that? But that's a sad thing, though. Oh well. Moving on. Our second official article from AOL.com is about shark attacks. Lovely. Officials. Shark attack victims were in waist-deep water. Pretty sure I'm losing people after this. I don't know. And this is coming from Ryu's neck of the woods. Oh boy. Beachgoers cautiously returned to the ocean Monday after two young people lost limbs in separate life-threatening shark attacks in the same town in North Carolina. A 12-year-old girl lost her left arm below the elbow, suffered a leg injury Sunday afternoon. Then about an hour and 20 minutes later, and 2 miles away, a shark bit off the left arm above the elbow of a 16-year-old boy. Both had been swimming about 20 yards offshore in waist-deep water. Dumbasses. A shark expert says the best response after one of these extremely rare attacks is to temporarily close beaches that lack lifeguards. Still, dumbasses. Local officials acknowledged Monday that they didn't make a concerted effort to warn people up and down the town's beaches to stop swimming out until after the second attack. Or rare yet, make it closer to where you can be seen. Dumbasses. Some of the people calling for help sounded nearly hysterical in recordings of 911 calls released Mondays. Dispatchers calmly responded by describing how to wrap the wounds in cloth or towels and apply pressure. Oh, man. Ma'am, I need you to calm down, the dispatcher tells one upset female caller near where the boy attacked. His eye is gone! The caller exclaims. Randy Giles, 52, was sitting on the sand with his fiancée, Shalane Wolford, when he heard the girl scream and called 911 immediately before she was carried to the beach. At first I thought it was a jellyfish sting, but when the man next to her pulled her out of the water, she was bleeding and a lot of her arm was bit off, so I knew it was a shark, Giles said. As people screamed to get out of the water, Giles said Wolford ran over to give the family her towels, and someone else used a cord from a boogie board as a tourniquet for the girl's arm. After the second attack, Town employees drove along beaches urging people to get out, but the instructions were voluntary and not mandatory. Oak Island town manager Tim Holman said officials are still researching whether they can legally force people out. Get a bullhorn. That's how you fix that shit. We were trying to get people We were trying to get people on the beach with megaphones and ATVs to warn people to get out of the water, Holman said. Well, if they dumbasses, well, they deserve to get chomped. Okay, California's on that list. Texas is on that list. Oh, ooh, ooh. Florida. Oh, God. Good, good Lord. Fuck. Louisiana, not so much. Maine, not so much. Again, I don't put my life on the line for anything. Not haphazardly like that. Early Monday, Mayor Betty Walls told the Associated Press that information was too spotty after Sunday's first attack to justify immediately clearing the water. But that was after the second attack. They did warn swimmers to get out. Witnesses described a chaotic scene as the attacks disrupted one of the first busy weekends since public school ended for summer. The victims, a girl from Asheboro and a boy from Colorado Springs, Colorado, were bleeding heavily, and other beachgoers applied makeshift tourniquets. It was quite nightmarish, vacationer Steve Bozer told the AP. I saw someone carry this girl out of the water, and people were swarming around trying to help. It was quite terrible. The first 911 call about the girl was made at 4:12 p.m., and the first call about the boy's attack came in after 5:30 p.m. Sheriff's spokeswoman Emily Flack said. Just 4 days early, good lord, a 13-year-old girl suffered small lacerations on her foot from a shark bite on Ocean Isle Beach, about 15 miles from Oak Island. Both towns are on barrier islands just off the coast. Surgeons amputated the girl's left arm below her elbow, and she has tissue damage to her lower leg. The boy's left arm was removed below his left shoulder. Ugh, I gotta stop reading this shit. Both were in good condition Monday at the New Hanover Regional Medical Washington in Wilmington, where Dr. Borden Hooks operated on both victims. Let's see. There were only 72 unprovoked shark attacks on humans around the world in 2014, including 52 in the U.S., according to the International Shark Attack File at the Florida Museum of Natural History. 3 of them outside the U.S. were fatal. Shark researcher George Burgess, who oversees the database, said he's only aware of only 2 other multiple shark attacks on the same beach in one day. It may be that there are big schools of fish out in the surf zone that are attracting the sharks, he said. Most beaches in North Carolina lack bodyguards, and without authorities keeping watch, the best advice is to close the beach temporarily, he said. It would be my best judgment to shut down the beach for a day. Good call. A surf camp scheduled for this week has been canceled. We thought that had been prudent. We just thought that was a prudent measure. A lot of inexperienced people out there flailing around is not necessarily a good thing. You're telling me. The deputies using boats and helicopters to monitor the water after the attacks did see a 7-foot shark between where the incidents happened. Sheriff John Ingram said another shark was spotted Monday morning, but the town's beaches were open. And Watts said there was no way we're going to stop people from going into the water. Oh, no. Their ass, not yours. People should avoid swimming where people are fishing. Stay out of the water if they have bleeding cuts, and avoid swimming in turbulent water or after a storm, Holland said. Oak Island is still a safe place. This is highly unusual, he said. Larry James of Asheville, North Carolina, has come to Oak Island for 20 years to vacation. He said he and his wife wouldn't let their 6-year-old granddaughter Maggie go out far. We won't be out of the water so far, ankle deep at the most, he said. Smart. Many others were staying out entirely, said Lori Little of Claremont, North Carolina, who was vacationing with her husband. I would describe the beach as empty as compared to when we were here yesterday, she said. I don't think people are quite ready to get in the water yet. I ain't gonna look at all the 620 comments. I know one thing. Yeah, if you look at something like this, look at this. Texas, 39 attacks. Louisiana, 2. California, 114. Oregon, 26. Washington, 2. Because we got smart people in Washington and Louisiana. And even in Mississippi, 1. Alabama, 8. Georgia, 13. South Carolina, 82. Holy shit. North Carolina, minus 30, 52. Virginia, 5. Delaware, 4. New York, 9. Connecticut, 1. Maine, 1. And what does it say for Florida? Well, there you go. Florida. 717 total attacks. There you go right there. Because, I'm sorry, Big. Y'all got some fucked up people in Florida. Oh, man. Yeah, y'all got some real fucked up people in Florida. Oh, good Lord. This is why I'm not so much of a water person. But my God, I'm just going to say this. Hail to the new. I've been to various beaches before. And I try to just basically walk ankle deep in the water. And sometimes when the wave hits you, you get flung. Luckily for me, there were no sharks when I went to the beaches. Not where I was, anyway. Thank goodness for that. And finally, our third and hopefully final article comes from AOL.com and is quite a stupid article. And if you feel like you want to skip this video, be my guest. I want to skip this video too. Rachel Dolezal quits as president of NAACP Spokane chapter amidst race controversy. Here comes the stupid, folks. Here comes the stupid. In Spokane, Washington, Rachel Dolezal resigned as president of the NAACP Spokane chapter Monday amidst a furor over racial identity that erupted after her parents came forward to say that she has been posing as black for years when she's actually white. Here comes the stupid. The announcement was posted on the Civil Rights Organization Facebook page. It said, the attention surrounding Dolezal has distracted from the group's goals. The dialogue has unexpectedly shifted internationally to my personal identity in the context of defining race and ethnicity, according to a statement attributed by Dolezal, a longtime figure in Spokane's civil rights community, who was elected to the NAACP post 6 months ago. I am consistently committed to empowering marginalized voices and believe that many individuals have been heard in the last hours and days that would not otherwise have had a platform to weigh in on this important discussion. I'm not going to read that. I'm not going to like it. I am not going to do nothing like that. Meanwhile, Spokane is investigating whether she lied about her ethnicity when she landed an appointment to the city's police oversight board on her application when she said her ethnic origins included white, black, and American Indian. Those old 37 woman with a light brown complexion and dark curly hair attended historically black Howard University. I tell you, it's getting really boring when I'm reading this yet. Teaches African studies at a local university and was married to a black man. The controversy over racial authenticity, I don't care, unfolded last week after Dolezal's parents told the media their daughter is white and with a trace of Native American heritage. They produced photos of her as a girl with a pale complexion and straight blonde hair. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna. Controversy over. Her mother, Ruth Ann Dolezal of Troy, Montana, told reporters she had no contact with her daughter in years. She said Rachel began to disguise herself after her parents adopted 4 African American children more than a decade ago. Rachel Dolezal initially dismissed the controversy, saying that it arose from litigation between other relatives who have divided the family. She has returned repeated calls from the Associated Press. Late last week, the National NAACP stood by her, saying one's racial identity is not qualifying criteria or disqualifying standard for NAACP leadership. But she had come under increasing pressure from local chapter members to resign. Really, does anybody actually care about this? I don't. I'll get my 2 cents after I'm done here. Kitara Johnson, an NAACP member in Spokane, who has been calling on Dolezal to step down, welcomed the resignation. That's the best thing that can happen right now, Johnson said. We're going to stand in unity and solidarity. Johnson said, the most important thing is to focus on the work of the NAACP, but she hopes Dolezal remains a member of the organization. On Friday, police said there were suspending investigations into racial harassment complaints filed before the uproar by Dolezal, including one from earlier this year in which she said she received hate mail in her office. Racism is a wonderful. Police released files showing that a hate mail package did not bear a stamp or barcode, meaning it was probably not handled through the post office. Dolezal's parents appeared on Today's Show Monday, and they had hoped to reconcile with their daughter. We hope Rachel will get the help she needs to deal with her identity issues. Of course we love her, Ruth Ann Dolezal said. I'm not reading any of that 3,019 comments. Because, let me be the one to say this. Racism, as we all know, is quite stupid, but yet it is alive and well in this world as long as we let it. Now, everybody who knows me knows what I look like. But clearly, my bloodline is that of Native American. Yes, I may look black, but it doesn't make me black. I have dark skin, but my tastes in culture are quite, how should I say, refined. I don't listen to anything like today's rap music. I find it as shit. The people who try to make rap are basically, I don't know, shit. Because all I'm saying is nothing. I mean, originally, rap music is supposed to tell a story, like it's poetry. Where the fuck is it? But as I said before, going back to me, I may be of dark skin, but I have Native American blood throughout my family. And my family hails from Blackfoot and Cherokee. So I am clearly, to my knowledge, black. I mean, I may look black, but I don't act black. I mean, sometimes, yes, I may go. I may joke around with my friends, but that's totally different. I can joke around with my friends like that, and I mean, I have a good time with it. But in the case of this, well, let's see. Race is a problem. It has always been a problem since, oh, my mind goes further back as since the days of Harriet Tubman and all the rest. And I definitely have to rant on this for a bit because I've been growing tired of hearing this. I've been really tired of hearing this. Black Lives Matter. I'm sorry. You're not the only race in the world that has suffered through so much hell. Native Americans have suffered worse. Hell, even those from different continents of the world have suffered worse. Learning who you are is not a crime. I know who I am. I'm just one person who just knows awareness. As a matter of fact, that's the only reason why I do videos like this. Just to show awareness. Because without awareness, there are people that just don't know about, what's going on outside the world of video games. The real world. This is something, I like to share for at least, 10% of the time. That shows what's happening in the real world. And usually, when that's the case, well, you know, shit like this happens. You have death running amok. You have ignorance. You have. I call racism ignorance because that's what it really is. It's just ignorance on an advanced scale. Because people fear what they don't understand. So if they find somebody different than they will usually freak out about it. I mean, there are various problems in the world that usually, I'd say, we have too much of it because we buy into it. Or we're all up in the moment, but we don't know what to do. Racism is one of those things that is a big problem that still lives within the world. It's something like a disease, just like death, it's a disease. And they can't go away. But the one thing I hate hearing is that, that everybody dies. Even though that's a fact of life, it shouldn't be the fact that most people have to go by this. Yes, death is indeed a fact of life, but don't let it be the most important thing. Like, you worry about it, and it's like many things. You worry about this, you worry about that, you worry about A, B, C, D, E, and F, and G. And worrying about it isn't going to help. You want to make a change, do something about it. It's like the two stories I've seen. The two stories I read before. Yeah, it's a shame that one girl died after a ride on Magic Mountain, but that shit kind of happens. We just have to be very careful. That's all it is. It's a wake up call of being very careful with your life. Don't, as I said before, don't throw it haphazardly. As I said, this article is quite stupid. Stupid in the case of the fact that as there are many people out there now, most of them being radicals, most of them feel they must justify themselves for the fact of being this color. I remember one video I did is about the death of Juwario, and I said my piece about it. Then I got attacked by some random dude who says that while I'm talking about the death of one person, so many other people die, and so many other people dying. Well, I have to say, in accordance to that, I have a heart. Okay, there's a big difference, and I feel that every life should matter, not just one simple part of the world, but all of the world. It should matter. Yes, I may not care about the things that go on in this world because it doesn't involve me. There are some things that may involve me, but more times it doesn't involve me. I mean, you may live in the world and you be part of it, but, there are times you don't have to be part of it. Race is just a problem that, like, say, sexual identity is a problem that only man created. It was never created by God because we're all the same. The problem is we, as one being, namely human, we don't realize that we're all the same. I may be black with a hint of Native American blood in me, but I still belong to one race, and that's the human race. That's the race that's most important, the human race. Not the fact that I live in America or Japan or France or whatever. I mean, if you live in those countries, that's all. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna say I hope that in your neck of the world, it's doable. I have various friends that I know that I talk to every day or every other day, and they're from different parts of the U.S. Some I do contact through Facebook or YouTube, but most times the people I talk to, they're mainly on Skype, and usually they're of different states, and they hail from different places, and they're all different. And you know what? I love them for being different. I really do. They're like the only friends I actually do talk to, and the only friends I actually keep in contact with. Because since they talk to me more times than anything, well, it's a good thing. It's a real good thing. I mean, second only to going to streams, I talk to them. Share a game with them, usually most times when my internet isn't flubbing up. But that's neither here nor there. The real problem, like I said, is usually death and ignorance. That's the real big two. That's the biggest two problems we have in the world. Death and ignorance. Because they go hand in hand. Ignorance is a thing. If you're not aware of your surroundings, if you're not aware of your limits, if you're not aware of what you can do, opposite of what you can't do, then you're pretty much going to end up being dead. So I'm going to leave this video with a certain message. That means whatever you try to do, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you plan on doing, don't let the rest of the world get you down. This is a fine example of, you know, not letting the world get you down. Race shouldn't be a big issue. Death is a big issue. Race isn't. This is an issue as well, because this is basically an article about sheer ignorance. So what have we learned? Death and ignorance, along with identity, they all exist, but you don't have to be part of the problem. You can be part of the solution. Anyway, I've been the Tenkaichi of gaming and otaku, and like I said, if you don't feel like listening to the video, I don't mind if you want to skip to another video. But I wanted to share this time out with you because I feel it was important to share. So yeah, stay tuned for more videos. Hopefully something a little more lighthearted than this. Take care, God bless, and as always, Tenkai Muso. Leave your feedback in the comments, please. Thanks.